Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Octopath Traveler walkthrough. I'm actually going to go through the battle-tested weapons. Um, my guess here is that I actually will go through and actually get all of these to drop, but I just wanted to show you the first one that I got here, which I think, just my initial thoughts after looking at all of these was the battle-tested axe is amazing. So, here's the guy right here. So this is Cape Cold. Now, you know, pretty easy. I actually have Hikari as a as the battle or arms master. Sorry, and then I've got this is the gear I've got kind of equipped on him right now. So, Serpent Slayer, Lost Tribe Spear, Lost Tribe Dagger, Flare's Admonishment. This isn't that important, but it is kind of nice. It just gives you a little bit of extra health when you use his. What is this skill called again? Boom, boom, boom. Sixfold Strike. I don't even have any of the divine weapons equipped on him, right? Yeah, Exercising Bow, Lost Tribe. I actually really like this Lost Tribe staff. So, physical attack 190, elemental attack 381, but the physical defense plus 102. That's because I've got the Blessing of Disguise on. Normally that is a minus physical defense. And then I've got the Wise King Shield here, raises physical defense at the start of battle, mechanical top hat, cursed armor. Again, you know, amazing stats here, and it normally would give the minus 66 speed, which actually doesn't really matter that much when you're dueling, but it does give the extra, you know, plus 66 because of the Blessing in Disguise, which again turns negative values on other equipment into positive values. And then I've got the Librarian's Amulet on him as well for the gigantic SP increase. This is pretty SP intense, so let me just rest here and I'll show you how I do this battle. Hikari is 65 though now, so this is getting really, really easy. Whoops, don't need to travel on again. So let's go back out here. So every time you beat this guy, really all you need to do is run outside town. I was reading about people like resetting, but I think that's a misunderstanding. I don't think people understand though that once you duel these guys, you can just, you know, leave town and they pop back up. So anyways, let's duel this guy. And I'll just kind of show you how I do this. So really it's pretty easy. Just arms master, use Sixfold Strike, and then we'll use that one more time.
My turn.
And get that break. Then I'm just going to use his latent power to use Shadow Cold and the 10 Ret Susan. Yep, let's just do this. Boom. So that does about 13,000 damage. I have the kind of like the break damage limit. I don't remember the name of that. That's the warrior passive. I'll go back into my passives and stuff after this. And we'll do a boosted up Sixfold Strike here at the end to finish this off.
For the pride of Ku.
And you do get the 1,000 experience every time too. So like it's not a bad way to level. As I mean, not the optimal place to level, but it is nice that you get a bunch. All right, so let's take a look at the support skills that I've got him. So I've got deal more damage again. That's from the warrior. I've got boost start, which just gives him one more BP at the start of battle. Invigorating break, it says restores the equipping character's HP when breaking a bone. Honestly, I shouldn't do that. I should really do something else like peak performance or something, right? And just have a little bit more damage right off the jump, because I don't really need the HP restoration from that. But also, or either that or do bolstering break would probably be a decent one too. Raises equipping character's physical attack when breaking enemy. I may just try that for a little bit. And then I do have arms refinement, so fills the equipping character's latent power gauge when exploiting an enemy's weak point. That's just really important to keep your kind of latent power building. Because if you want to keep repeating this, you're going to be ripping through a lot of latent power. So, anyways, that's this guy here in Cape Cold. Oh, wow, before I forget, we should actually equip this axe and take a look at it, huh? So the reason why I really want it is for Oswald. Physical attack 400, elemental attack 250, but then it says raises the potency of lightning and ice-based attack. Now, the hero axe is really good as well, and it says, raises potency of lightning based. But I wanted the battle tested for the lightning and ice, right? I want to be able to cover 2 elements here, so I'll be using that on him probably from now on. but we'll see. Okay, finally. The next one on the list here is the battle-tested blade. This took me so long to get. I mean, I want to say hours now. It was that bad. But hey, you know, that's 2%. So, anyways, let's take a look at this thing, and then I'll kind of go over my strategy. Battle-tested blade. So, physical attack 400, crit 120, raises the potency of physical skills. I won't actually equip that, just so I can kind of show you, I guess, the equipment that I was using to get this. And actually, let's just show you. I'll show you kind of the reset process as well. So basically, I just teleport up here to Nameless Village from Totohara. And I usually just rest here. Now, I actually didn't really need to do that. I could have done one more battle, but yeah, actually just wanted to show you the process. And let me show you the gear that I've got right now as well. So I've got Hikari as a merchant as well. So obviously, warrior is his base job, right? But also the merchant is the sub job or secondary job. I do have the Conqueror's Sword, so that's one of the divine weapons. Pretty easy to get. Raise physical attack by 250 against broken foes. I don't use the sword for anything other than once, you know, the enemy's broken, so that makes sense. The polearm, I've got the Sea God Spear. That's a big deal, or pretty important, right? Because it gives you the one additional attack. And the Young Man, which is the enemy that we're trying to get the battle-tested blade from, has a polearm vulnerability. So that is kind of what I went with. The Great Bow doesn't matter at all. I really just have this, and I don't know if the crit actually works, right? Unless you're using the bow, I'm not sure. But I don't actually end up using the bow. I've got the Curse Shield, and this is just for the physical or the defensive stats. The minus 66 invasion doesn't matter at all. I use sidestep all the time, so that isn't relevant. The Forgotten Hat I actually really liked because it gives a pretty big chunk of SP there on the helmet, and you know the defensive stats are okay. Same with the Quartz Robe here. It doesn't really matter, like your physical and elemental defense just don't really matter for this battle because you're not going to be you're going to be sidestepping all the physical stuff. And then on top of that, we've got the Inferno Amulet, which is going to completely nerf any sort of elemental damage that he's doing. I've also got the Eye of Calamity here. So it says physical attack 120, elemental attack 120. It does say, though, it reduces physical attack and elemental attack at the start of the battle. That doesn't matter because they're debuffs that will wear off by the time I actually deal damage. And then I've got that, like I said, that Inferno Amulet. This is amazing. It basically nerfs his elemental damage down to nothing. Let's take a look at the support skills that I've got here as well. So deal more damage, that's probably obvious, right? We want to be breaking that 9,909 damage cap. Summon Strength, just for the extra 50 attack. Bolstering Break, so it says raises the equipping character's physical attack when breaking enemy. That's really good because it gives you a buff right as you're about to kind of unleash the stronger attacks. And then I also have upgraded accessories as well, just to boost up a little bit more of the damage coming from the Eye of Calamity. So there you have it, getting an extra 60 physical attack out of that. So all right, let's go again. We are in Trokuhoku, which is the absurdly named town here, and then this is the guy that we want to duel here. This is the Young Man. So let's challenge him.
On your guard.
This is honestly, this hasn't gotten that much easier over time, but the strategy here is to just start out with sidestep. He's going to knock that off right away, and we just keep reapplying that until we get to 3 BP, which is right now. Here you can see the Incinerate basically doing no damage whatsoever. And then I'm going to use the BP that I've got built up here, max out, and just cast another sidestep. Now at that point you can see the debuffs from that accessory have worn off, and so now I'm going to go into some attacks.
Prepare.
It's a 3 BP there, and then you can see we're shredding those shields because the spear attacks twice. At this point I'm just going to use his latent power and use Hienka. So this says unleash a sword attack on a single foe 2 times, then act again at the end of the turn. Only 1 additional action can be taken per turn. So hit him with that, just a little bit of extra damage, and then go right into the warrior skill, Brand's Blade.
I summon
about
Brand,
30,
the Thunder
so,
Blade.
yeah, 28.
Too slow. Prepare
So
yourself.
now we need to go back into regular attacks.
Predictable. My
Get
turn.
his BP built up a little bit. I'm going to do a sidestep here.
I've read
just
your
in
next
case.
move.
This isn't,
Now it begins.
you know, maybe optimal,
I've
but
read your next
I want
move.
to make sure that I'm not
Too slow.
stomped.
Prepare
The
yourself.
thing that you always have to be careful with these guys is sometimes they can get 2 turns back to back, and so you always kind of want to have 2
My turn.
side steps up at any given time, right? Just in case.
Sorry.
So all right, this isn't this isn't actually going to work all that well because
Prepare yourself.
I actually need to do 1 more side
I've
step
read your next move.
just to get my BP lined up with when he's going to break.
Here I come.
There you have it.
My
Again,
turn.
back up to the 3 BP, go into warrior skills again, use Brand's Blade
I
right away.
summon Brand. Good.
And again, you want to be making sure
There's
you're
no
lining
need
up
for
Brand's
fight.
Blade right
No
after you
rest
break
my
to
soul.
get the extra damage from that buff. But there you have it. That's the strategy anyway.
You still have much
Again,
to
I can't tell you how many times or how long that took. That was hours. So, anyways, so what I'll do here is I'll throw in another clip here on the next battle-tested weapon right now. Alright, next clip here is the battle-tested shield. Now, I had originally intended to actually show you the drop at the end of the battle, but I hit my accept button too quickly. So here it is, though. Physical defense, 120, elemental, 120, also recover HP and SP after performing an action. I was using the cursed shield to farm these out, but let's throw this on and I'll just show you. So, actually here, let's take a look at the rest of his gear as well. So I've got Hikari again as a merchant. I got the battle-tested blade because I farmed that earlier. I've got the Sea God Spear for the 1 additional attack. Leviathan Great Bow. This doesn't really matter that much. I don't actually use the bow. Again, I was using a Curse Shield, which is pretty solid stats. The evasion I don't really care about. That doesn't matter. Or the evasion reduction doesn't matter. I've got the Forgotten Hat, mostly for the 60 SP. Same with the Quartz Robe. I'm just trying to build up as much SP as I can get so that I don't have to rest at the inn as often. I've got the Eye of Calamity, and you know, which just really good raw stats. It has the reduced, you know, you've got kind of an attack debuff, but that doesn't matter because I don't actually start attacking until after I've buffed up a bit. So, and then I've got the Librarian's Amulet again as well, mostly for the SP. The elemental defense doesn't matter at all for farming this shield, but here we are in also Montwise, and this is basically the guard here at the entrance of town. Let's just show you here. So I've actually, like I said, I literally just got that thing to drop. Basically all I do to reset is run out down to the bottom and then come right back in. Again, keep in mind, you don't have to do like resets or anything like that. I think some people use those, the Bottle of Nightmares, which are very expensive items.
On your guard.
And, you know, it's kind of a cheesy way to beat these guys. I'm not going to do that, but I wanted to show you here. So those are obtained from the night market. There's other, I think I had 8 of them, so I got 8 of them somehow, but it says inflicts, you know, poison or blindness, confusion, and sleep on a single foe. Again, it's an expensive way to do this, but it is a way to do this pretty quickly, right? So it'll put the enemy to sleep, but and do some pretty nasty stuff. And that poison damage really shreds these guys, like, right, because they have a ton of health. But anyways, I'm not going to do that. I'll just show you how I do this normally. So you can see there he's got the minus or the debuff on the physical attack and elemental attack. But all I'm going to be doing is using sidestep for the first couple of turns, and then we'll actually get in, you know,
My turn.
or get on the offense. So we'll use sidestep one more time here without using BP.
Now it begins.
And then the third turn here, I use a full BP boosted sidestep.
I've read your next move.
That's going to stack me up to 5.
Predictable. Here I come.
And then we start on the Sea God Spear. Use the regular attack to shred these shields.
Too slow. Predictable. My turn. I'm sorry. Here I come. It's over.
There we go, he's broken, and as soon as he's
Now
broken,
it begins.
I don't even use the latent power, I don't need to. So we'll just go right into Brand's Blade.
I summon Brand, the Thunder Blade.
And then we'll go right back into
My
just
turn.
hitting him with the spear, get him broken one more time. And then we'll finish him off. Here, you know,
Here I come.
obviously I'm very, very leveled, and so you may have to go into like more side steps if you're not, you know, as strong. Because that Squall of Arrows can be a problem because it's going to shred all of
I
the side
fight
steps.
for my friends.
But, you know,
I summon Brand.
I don't
Who's
use
next?
that. So there it is, there's the
There's
kill.
no need for flattery. It'll rest
And,
my soul.
yeah, no shield this time, but I wanted to at least throw that in there.
You
Yeah,
still have much to
not too bad though. Definitely not as bad as farming up the blade. Okay, so next on the list here of battle-tested gear is the battle-tested bow. I just got this thing to drop now, so I'll show you. This is
You
the,
still have much to.
I think this is the Tudor, it's called, here in New Delsta. So let me just run out here. I'll run back in and actually do this battle, and kind of how I did it. Now, I guess keep in mind though, at this point now I'm insanely leveled from doing all of these duels just to get this gear, but. And let's just go over the gear. So for this one, I actually went back to Arms Master for Hikari. The battle-tested blade is actually pretty relevant. This is adding a ton more damage to the warrior skill. Is it Brand's Blade? Something like that. So yeah, keep that in mind, that this is kind of an important piece of gear. And it would be, I have to imagine, a lot more difficult to actually do this battle legitimately, right, without bottled nightmares. If you have some other weapon, Conqueror's Sword probably would still work, right? You know, 450 basically attack after you break, and that may work pretty well also, but it may take a little bit longer. Sea God Spear, this doesn't matter. Dancer's Blade doesn't matter. The Double Tomahawk, though, this is pretty important, too. So, physical attack 230, but really the reason why this is so good is because it deals the one additional attack. So this thing is going to shred the shields. Bow doesn't matter. I am using a battle-tested staff as well. Usually I've been opening up with this. This may not even be the best weapon, to be honest, but I also don't think that this really matters that much either. Really, I just use it, I melee twice with it to break shields. I do have the battle-tested shield as well. I did grab that prior to this. But again, kind of the same deal here. That's not all that needed. I think a curse shield would work just fine as well. Forbidden Hat, also this one doesn't really matter that much. It is kind of nice though because I'm getting the extra SP out of it. And then I did buy the Royal Guard's Mail, though I would say the same thing here. This doesn't really matter that much. I feel like I could probably do without that, though, to be fair, the extra 750 max HP is pretty nice. And then I've got the Eye of Calamity, the physical belt. Let's take a look at the support skills here. So I've got deal more damage, obviously, to break the damage limit. Vigorous Victor, this is just for convenience sake. It's just kind of nice to basically automatically restore my health and SP. It's mostly for the SP. And then Bolstering Break, and then upgraded accessories. So that's the setup anyway. So let's do this one more time here. So again, this is the Tudor, and this is obviously during the day as well. And
On your guard.
basically doing all of these during the daytime. Alright, so the first thing that I do is I just swap over to the staff and use a regular melee attack to break a shield. She'll use Hornet's Nest. And I get one more time, and then I swap over to the axe. The reason for this is we basically need to stall just a little bit. Like, right, I could break her in 3 turns if I just use the axe, but that would be too fast. And the problem with that would be I would still have the debuff from my accessories, and I don't want to waste the buff that I get from breaking. Right, you can see now I have that damage buff up from that passive. And then I just go right into Brand's Blade here. And this most of the time will one-shot her. Sometimes that won't do enough damage, and so I'll have to use his latent power instead. But that's pretty much it. You know, as usual, though, if you want to try to do this earlier, or you can't quite do this for whatever reason, you can use Bottled Nightmares, and you know that's generally the cheesy way to take out all of these. But let's take a look at this this bow, and yeah, so physical attack 390, crit 120, and then slim chance to reduce target's physical defense. That's pretty cool. And but yeah, all right, so that'll be it for the bow. Okay, so next on the list here is the battle-tested staff. I finally just got this to drop. This is coming from the cleric here in Canal Brine. So let's zip on over to Aura Rush really quickly. This is basically what I do to reset this battle. I just kind of come back and let's heal up as well before I do anything else. So for this one, I have Hikari as Arms Master again, and actually kind of I didn't test this too much more. I kind of just felt like this was easy enough, but once again using the battle-tested blade, I feel like once you've got this thing, that's the way to go. There really isn't going to be a better sword for farming these. I do have the Sea God's Spear as well. This enemy does have a spear weakness, and this will just be used to, you know, shred shields. Dancer's Blade, this isn't that important, but it's kind of funny to every once in a while just throw a random status effect on her. But again, that doesn't matter at all. Same with the Hero's Axe. I'm not going to really use this. Same with the battle-tested bow and the battle-tested, or my other battle-tested staff, I guess. Most of these weapons just don't matter at all. You really need the Sea God Spear though, and the battle-tested blade is nice. You know, other swords will work as well, but I think that this one is just really solid. As far as gear here, I do have this battle-tested shield, which is really nice. Kind of glad that I got this before. It's just convenient, right? The little bit of HP and SP recovery actually really adds up, and it makes it so that I don't have to like constantly sleep after, you know, battles or every other battle or whatever it ends up being. So, Forgotten Hat, getting kind of nice for the little bit of extra SP. Royal Guard's Mail, and then I've got the Eye of Calamity and the Physical Belt. So both of these two, you know, are actually just a little bit better because of the passive that boosts the effectiveness of accessories. Then here's the skills I've got. So deal more damage, Arms Refinement. It's just kind of nice to continually. The latent power is somewhat nice to have, or the additional latent power. And then here's Bolster and Break. That's again solid. Every time that you break, you get a decent, you know, attack boost or buff, which then, you know, of course does more damage. And then I've got the upgraded accessory, so again raises the attributes of the equipping accessories. So let's do this. I'll just do I don't know if I'll just do one battle or if I'll do two here. But let's see. Yeah, I'm not starting out with full latent power, but that's fine. Normally what I was doing here was using the dagger once, just to stall, right? The problem with you know, these accessories is while they're really powerful, you do get that attack debuff for a couple of turns. And so what we really want to do here is you want to stall a couple of turns so that our debuffs wear off.
Now it begins.
Because the problem is if you have those debuffs on you and then you break to get the buff, it basically just cancels out the debuff. So what you want to do is make sure that it falls off first, and then go for the break. And you can see there I've got the attack buff now. And then one of the things, or probably the fastest way to do this, is to then use the latent power. Do boost up the Hyenka twice, and just make sure that you've got 3 BP left over. And then go into the warrior skill with Brand's Blade to finish her.
I summon Brand. Who's next?
And that's that.
I still have much to learn.
You have to play around with it a little bit more. I'll do one more battle here because now I'm completely out of BP, and I'll just kind of show you how I do it. You know, when I'm starting out with no BP. So basically, it's kind of like doing the battle in 2 different ways, right? It's one, if I've got a little bit, okay, great. then I can do it that first way, right, and basically just end it in one finisher there at the end. I don't know if that maybe doesn't, or that's not the greatest way to describe it, but you know, again, using Hyenka and Brands right after is really solid. But all right, so here's starting out with no BP. Actually, what I should have done was just go right into attacking and not try to stall, because I'll most likely have to do 2 Brands blades to do this.
Now it
Sometimes though you get lucky and she hits you enough that you'll have enough. And there, I just did it right there. So I actually ended up with enough latent power to basically just do the same thing, right? But that doesn't always happen, and sometimes you're just a little bit short. I'm not exactly sure, but maybe it's just luck.
prepare yourself.
Yeah, so it really depends. Sometimes she'll buff herself up, and that's probably what happened there. So she'll use a buff instead, which won't fulfill your latent power gauge at all. And so, you know, you won't have enough then to use Hyenka. So, but yeah, that's generally the strategy. You can see though that, you know, as usual here, because I've farmed so much now, Hikari's already at level 83, which is insane. But the other way to beat her, and I've described this earlier, is the Bottle of Nightmares, right? You can put her to sleep and then just use poison basically and let poison take her out. So again, that's another way of kind of defeating her in an easier way. Although more expensive, so and also I think a little bit more time consuming, because obviously this way was pretty quick. So all right, so we'll end this one and we'll do the next clip. Okay, so next on the battle tested list is the spear. I just got this to drop. So this is the townsperson right here at the entrance is Sai. I'll just reset him. And I'll do this battle really quickly. Really easy. Probably the easiest one I've come across so far, because I think this guy's only a rank 8. Let's take a look at the spear itself, though. So here it is. Physical attack 390, crit 120, and slim chance to blind the target. So not too bad. And there you have it. So he's only at rank 8. So again, like I said, he's going to be pretty easy to beat. Really, all I did here was you know, use the double tomahawk. I've got Hikari still as an armor master, and I just went right for it. Right, I didn't even.
Now it begins.
Usually, like you know, I didn't wait to break him for a better, you know, moment, right? Because I've still got that accessory equipped that kind of debuffs you for a few turns. Honestly, it probably, I guess it's kind of the same thing, right? It doesn't really matter, because right after I use Brands, the one more attack ends him. So, you know, I didn't really need to worry about stalling to make sure that I was having that buff. But yeah, like I said, very easy. I'll just show you my equipment again, kind of my updated list here. So, battle-tested blade, Sea God Spear, Danger Blade. You know, most of this stuff doesn't matter. It's really the double tomahawk that's really needed for this one. The battle-tested blade is really nice though, because it's just, you know, he's destroying. Battle-tested shield, again, nice. Most of this stuff, you know, partially because I'm such high level, but also because he's only on rank 8, it doesn't really matter that much. And then I've got Eye of Calamity and the physical belt on still. As far as abilities here, let's go to equip. So deal more damage. Again, that's probably obvious. Vigorous Victor. This is just for convenience, right? I didn't have to heal or, you know, recover any SP after these battles, because I just don't. You know, you're not using much, so you can just keep going. You know, doing these battles back to back. And then bolstering break, and then upgrade the accessories. I gotta say that I'm actually a little bit annoyed, because this has probably been the easiest one to farm, and it didn't actually take me that many battles to get it. But of course, that's my luck, right? Where of all of these, you know, that are at a 2% drop rate, I get the one to drop quickest on literally the easiest one. So. Bit of a shame, but all right. Next clip will probably be the. I think the dagger is the only thing left. Okay, last on my list here is the battle-tested dagger. I just got this to drop. I got very lucky. This probably only took me 5 or 6 attempts, and there is my achievement for the battle-tested gear. So here we are in Clock Bank. Let me just zip on over to the other town here to get this guy reset. We'll go right back to Clock Bank once again. Let's just show you the dagger itself before I actually kill this guy. But there it is. So 380 physical attack, 120 evasion, and then slim chance to reduce the target's accuracy. So, I don't know. Okay, I guess. I mean, very strong, right? But, alright, so we need to go into the bar. I change it to nighttime. And I have Throne with me, and I'm going to knock this guy out.
Good night.
You know, it's possible that you'd need to take, what is her name? Is it Casti? To knock that guy out instead if you're not high enough level. But let's duel this guy.
Raise your weapon.
So basically, I change it to night, knock the guy out, and then change to day because the old guy is only available during the day. So I'm Arms Master again. I've been using Arms Master actually for a lot of these, most of them. And then I've got the Sea God Spear here, which is going to shred this guy's shield. He is pretty nasty. He you know, dumps a poison on you. Man, I might actually lose this one. Was I not at full health? I don't think I was at full health. Let's redo this.
Impressive.
Yeah, I need to actually be healed up before I do this. You know, as usual, if you want to cheese the guy, you can use the Bottle of Nightmares. I've been trying to avoid that just because I don't really like that. It's really time consuming.
Over.
But yeah, this guy is just a machine. So there he's broken. I'm actually going to do
Blood boils.
Heineka? I'm only going to buff it, or, you know, use 1 BP on this one, and then on Brand's blade right after. And that'll finish this guy out. The nice thing about this guy is, you know, he just doesn't have that much health.
I still have much to learn.
Which is, yeah, it's a good thing because he's nasty, especially that poison. I suppose, you know, if you're not able to you know, kind of just beat him in one turn, like, well, not one turn, but I guess in that way, right? You probably want to equip some accessories that are going to prevent poison. But yeah, so anyways, battle-tested blade, Sea God Spear, and then again, the rest of these weapons really don't matter. Battle-tested shield, Forgotten Hat, Royal Guard mail, Eye of Calamity, physical belt. Really just for, you know, getting a ton of extra damage out of that. And then as far as the skills here, I've got deal more damage, Vigorous Victor. This is really just for convenience sake. You know, there's probably other possibly better support skills to equip, but at a certain point, it's just like, well, I would just rather not have to navigate in my my menus and, you know, heal after every time I kill this guy. So then bolstering break and upgraded accessories for the, you know, additional damage. So that is it. That is all of the battle-tested stuff, and thank goodness. I am, this was, I mean, I can't tell you how many hours, probably, my guess is this is around 10 hours worth of farming. And honestly, that's only one of each of those. So, you know, I did get really lucky, though, with my last two, but, you know, up until this point, it was a lot of time invested in this. So anyways, as always, though, I hope the guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.